the morning coffee stream with your host Jay. You are now listening to the smooth stylings of... Okay, I'll stop. Hi everyone, good morning. I see Andre, you're already in the chat. Good morning to you from Chicago. It is either 11 a.m. in Chicago or 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. I don't remember if Chicago's 1 hour ahead of me or 1 hour before me. But good morning. Hey Fortunate, how are you? Welcome to the first ever morning coffee stream with yours truly. So, if you are here, you are part of history. I guess no, you're more part of a social experiment, because I basically wanted to try out doing like a morning type stream. Hello, it's 9 a.m. Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. It's very early for you. I was thinking the next time I do the stream might be at 11 for me, so 1 hour after, so 10 for you. But I thought it'd be fun to make a morning stream a kind of way for us to like sit back and relax after like a long week, and kind of just like, you know, chill. Right now it's K-pop themed. We're going to talk about some of the topics that happened between my last stream and this one, but next time it might not be. It might be more of a productivity stream. I'm trying out a couple different things, so thanks for everyone who's here, because I feel like it would be nice to get, you know, feedback, see how you guys feel about the stream, and maybe like ideas and tips and things like that for the future. So let me just ask, how was everyone's week this week so far? Or I guess, how was everyone's, the whole entire week, because this would be the end of the week. It's very weird because I recently found out that for a lot of people, Sunday is the first day of the week. For me, I've always felt like Monday is the first day. Like if I have like a calendar, like a Google Calendar or something that I set up myself, it's gonna be like I count my week starting from Monday. But Jazz, I think it was either Jazz or somebody who was like, nah, it's Sunday, and I think that's really weird. I just moved into my new place yesterday. Congratulations. So did you move all in one day, or was it like a process that where you just finished? Oh, I have so many hangnails. Or was it process where you just finished yesterday? But congrats, because it can always be pretty stressful to move. So when you finally have it over with, I feel like it's always a breath of fresh air. Ooh. Yeah. All right. I wouldn't mind a morning stream. I just had a really good breakfast with the family, so now just figuring out what we're doing today. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that was kind of my idea about it. Like, you can watch it while you're eating breakfast. I don't know. I tend to wake up pretty early on Sundays, even if it is the weekend. Like, if I'm going to sleep in, I sleep in on Saturdays. But on Sundays, I tend to wake up early just because, like, you know, I don't know. It makes sense for some reason to wake up early on Sunday. It's the last day, like, you have before the week starts again. You have to go back to work or school. So you want to, like, make the most of it. And Sunday mornings are always so chill and calm. So it's really nice. But yes, congrats LD on the move. My hair's kind of looking wild, y'all. All right. So is it like your first apartment alone or something like that? Like, what is it like? How big is like this transition to your new place? I moved on one day, but it wasn't that bad since I don't have much stuff. Plus, I moved in with my older brother. Oh, okay, that's nice. It's always nice to live with family. I feel like family makes the best roommates. Like, I don't know, that's always been my thing. I feel like it's always been hard because I've only lived with somebody I like already knew once, because all throughout college I just had random roommates. But I feel like it's always just so like it's comfy to have like family as roommates. But yeah, I'm trying to downsize because I will eventually have to move soon, and I feel like one of the existential dreads I have is having to account for all my stuff, pack it all in boxes, and then like go through the whole rigmarole of like, you know, unpacking it, packing it, going through what I need and what I don't. I feel like if I had like 3 things, it would be much better. That's why I'm kind of interested in minimalism, just because I feel like if you have less stuff to worry about, you're just less stressed. Like, I don't know. It's just really sometimes stressful to think about all the things I own, especially if I do not use them a lot. Like, it's just kind of weird. That's why I'm trying to currently get rid of my clothes. Like, I have a lot of clothes that I do not wear, which is so unfortunate because it's just like, why did I buy these? Why did I do this to myself? Oh, hold on. I remember when I was moving from my last apartment, I literally just threw stuff away because I'm just like, I don't want to pack this. It doesn't mean that much to me. And I'd rather not have it than throw it away. I mean, I'd rather not have it than have to pack it with me. Just making some edits. There we go. Might as well just make it the whole screen. Yeah, let me make it the whole screen and I'll move this way. No, I'll move. Should I move this way? I don't know. What looks better? There we go. My sister's planning on moving to Charlotte from Durham here soon, but she's got a crap ton of stuff. Hello. Yeah, and it's just like, you really have to think, like, do I actually need this? Like, is this like that whole Marie Kondo thing? I wanna eventually watch that, even though I'm like 6 years too late. But like that whole Marie Kondo thing about like what sparks joy. Again, I didn't watch that Netflix special, but like if I took anything away from this thing I did not watch, that's like such an important thing, I think. Like, do you really care about this, or do you just like feel like you can't let go of it because you've had it for a long time, or like you keep thinking scenarios in your head where you might use it like 5 years down the line? Like, it's very, yeah, it's giving hoarder. But yeah, it's really crazy just to think. I'm very interested in downsizing like the clothes I have, because I really only wear like seven shirts, maybe like 2 or 3 dresses, and like I'm only really excited to wear those things. That's another important part. Like, there's some stuff that like, if everything I own is dirty, okay, yeah, I'll put it on, but am I really excited to put this on? Like, even if it's just leisurely, like it doesn't necessarily have to be like my baddie outfit for the club or whatever. Like, if it's just leisurely, do I like wearing this? And if the answer is no, then why have it, right? You should be excited to wear all the pieces of clothes you have. But I kind of want to get rid of like most of my clothes and then work on buying stuff that really like speak to me. So I've been like watching different videos where people have been talking about like how to make sure your closet's full of stuff you actually want. And there were really good tips. Like, there was one tip where it was just like, you know, have a color scheme, right, for your closet. So like, if you really like pinks or whatever, like stick to like maybe 5 or 4 colors that like, you know, you really look good in, you enjoy wearing. You know, include some neutrals like a black or a cream or a brown or whatever. And that way, every time you look for a piece, like new piece to buy, you can be like, does this fit my aesthetic? Like, what's in my closet already? And if it doesn't, then you don't buy it. So you don't just go around and buying everything. But if it does, then you automatically know that there's like pieces of clothes already in your closet that fit what you wear. So it's like really nice. Heck, me and my grandparents are trying to move at some point, so the things I took with me to our current residence, I kept in a box to make it easy. And that like really helps, just keeping everything together, I feel like. My mom calls me a hoarder sometimes, and I'm like, but I keep all my stuff in boxes and you can't see, and you can see my floor. Hello, it doesn't help that I have a small room. Yeah. I moved like in March and I still have boxes yet to unpack. Oh God. That was me in my last place, because there's just some, like, I had so many pots and pans from when I was like in college that it was just like, girl, let go of these. But then I never took it out. Because I used to live with Jazz and for a while, and she already had like pots and pans. So I was like, why take mine out? But yeah, it's kind of hard. But I think the real thing, like the real hoarder moment I feel like I have is clothes. Clothes are the things that I hoard the most. Clothes and like knickknacks, if that makes sense, because I feel like I'm constantly getting in and out of like different hobbies. And so when I leave a hobby, like when I get into a hobby, I'll be like, okay, this is my life, this is what I'm gonna dedicate my life to, buy all the things that I need to buy, you know, get really excited, do it for like 2 days, and I'm like, okay, that was a cute era for me, but that era is over, let me move on. And so it just becomes like this thing where I have a bunch of like leftover stuff from like, I don't know, what would you call it? Passions, hobbies I used to have for like 2 seconds. Like I have a bunch of polymer clay because at one point I was like, oh yeah, I'll be a polymer clay girl. Like I'll make beads, I'll make jewels, I'll make little trinkets. It's cool. But then I got so frustrated because it's like, I would always get my fingerprints in the clay. So when I would like, you know, bake the stuff, it would have my fingerprints in it. And I'm like, this looks so ugly. So I quit. I finished my career. It's why I really collected with some of those HGTV shows, because I need tips on how to organize stuff so when people come in my room, I don't get weird looks. No, that's so true. I like to call my room an organized mess. LOL. No, yeah, that's definitely a thing. Oh my god. But yeah, oh my god, yeah, HGTV, I sometimes watch that, but Pinterest is like Pinterest is such a good site. Like I don't know why it doesn't get more props. It's such a good site. Like that's like where I get ideas for everything, clothes, like new hobbies, room designs and things like that. Like I feel like people don't give Pinterest enough credit. It really is that girl. Like I feel like it's like at least top 5 social media site. The thing is, it's very much like what Tumblr, I used to use Tumblr for, because I used to definitely use Tumblr for like mood boards and inspiration, but then Tumblr, suddenly the search function just didn't want to work, so I had to let it go, unfortunately. Pinterest used to be my thing back in high school. It is still alive and well though. Hop back on, make your account or log back into your account. It's really good. Like, cause I just like how you can group things by like aesthetic. It's great. But yeah, so do y'all want to jump in? What do y'all want to do next? Should we jump into the K-pop topics? Should we keep free talking? Because I just kind of want this to be very, very chill. I hope everyone's sipping on gin and just kidding, sipping on coffee and hazelnut. I'll be honest, this isn't coffee. I'm exposed. My aesthetic is crumbling. I had mood boards for everything. They're so helpful, right? Like to get you in the mood. Like if you want to do something creative, like that's the best thing you can do. Like just get a mood board, pull like a bunch of inspirations. So if you ever lose track, just look at it. Like mood boards are the best. Like I used to think that they were just very like, not artsy fartsy, but like, you know, pumpkin spice latte-y, if you know what I mean. Chuggy. Is that? No, that's not the right word use of chuggy. They're just like very, I don't know, but like they really are helpful, honestly. Tequila margarita. Has anyone started Faina? That Faina anime that appeared on Crunchyroll? No, I haven't heard of that. Is that something that they're doing? Is that like a Crunchyroll original? Anime Crunchyroll. We were actually talking about how Funimation acquired Crunchyroll this week. Here's the exact time for Faina. Ooh, I like the art. It kind of reminds me of Erika 7. Wait, let me pull it up. Like when I was trying to make like this kind of coffee shop themed feel thing that I have right now ish. It's definitely gonna take some like evolving, but okay. It kind of reminds me of Erika 7. Okay, we can't play the trailer because you know how that goes with YouTube. Oh wow, it's gonna be on Adult Swim. Oh, I might watch it if it's on Adult Swim. Oh, it premiered yesterday. Crunchyroll and Adult Swim are ready to set on a high seas with oncoming series Faina Pirate Princess. On August 14th, the series will have a special 2-episode premiere. Oh, okay, that's cool if it's on. I'm trying to get back into watching things weekly. because I feel like so stressed when I like it's binge, but like I never keep up with it. It's really weird. It doesn't have like a plot. Where's the plot? Where's the plot? Ooh, the outfits are very pretty. Okay, it has kind of like a backing. Oh, be the beginning. I hated that. Synopsis. Okay. Faina Hortman remembers little about her childhood, orphaned and raised as a servant in a brothel. Her life changes when she escapes to an island of pirates where she discovers, ooh, I like a pirate moment, the truth behind her family, with Faina being the only one able to unlock her family's secrets and a formidable crew of female pirates, ooh, on her tail. That's cool. I love a girl boss, girl gaslight, moment. She must take her place as captain of her samurai crew for high sea adventures. That sounds cute. I like the art, but I'm always kind of like, I really don't like feudal era, feudal times type themed anime. I don't know, that's, or in general, that usually doesn't excite me. Like Renaissance fairy, but I don't know, the pirate part sounds interesting though. I keep forgetting which scenes are which. Okay, there we go. But I'll add this to the list because I'm definitely trying to like find new things to watch. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me pop you guys out. Pop the chat out. Hey, Liam! Ninja slash sword dude in the trailer got me like, wait, who are we thirsting after? Who's our fave? I'm so easily saved. Slade. Yashahime second season. Yay for the second season. Haven't watched the first though. I feel like I hyped it up too. I remember talking about that and hyping it up. And, all right, let's get into some K-pop topics real quick. Like, okay, so it's the K-pop portion of the show. So as you can tell, there's 3 topics I wanted to talk about this week that kind of happened in between the Sleepy Idol closing, and what would be a good name? Let's do it right now. So kind of how we have the Sleepy Idol bar, I kind of want to have a coffee shop thing, like for the morning podcasts, because I'm gonna deck it out similar to the Sleepy Idol where it has a more coffee shop theme. So should it be the Creamery with a K? That's the only thing I came up with, I'll be honest. But if anyone has a better idea, I'd love to hear it. Because I just when I have a theme aesthetic, I just gotta go full, like I have to go in full speed ahead. Like it can't just be like half-hearted. And I thought it was really, really cool because it's like, you know how like there's late night people and there's morning people who like to go to club, people who like to go to the coffee shop or whatever. It can kind of be different crews. And I know having it at 10 p.m. makes it more open for certain people, or 10 a.m. makes it more open for certain people to be able to attend and, participate. So it's like there's like a morning crew and a night crew, morning shift and night shift. There's people who like to stay at the bar late night or wake up early and go to the coffee shop with friends. I don't know. I love a moment. I love a concept. But yeah, if anyone has any ideas, let me know. So the first thing I wanted to talk about here tonight is the fact that CLC disbanded, maybe, allegedly. I'm not sure. Basically, and a lot of you guys were talking about this yesterday or last when we went to the Sleepy Idol on Thursday. All right, a lot of you guys were talking about it, but it didn't click to me that when you guys were talking about Soojin being on Girls Planet 999, you guys were talking about CLC Soojin, and that did not click for me because I didn't realize that there were any like established idols who were participating in this. I know they could, but I didn't know people were. But basically there's kind of a cut from a segment of her on the show where people are interpreting what she said as CLC basically being disbanded. So I'm going to pull up the video. YouTube, Sarah, Susan, please leave me alone. Don't copyright this, because I'm just trying to living my life like it's golden. And so there is a clip, and I'm going to play it for our viewing pleasure. I realize I'm blocking it, but that's fine.
팀 활동을 안 한다는 얘기를 해가지고 회사에서 정말 CLC 정말 열심히 했거든요.
I realize I'm blocking it.
컨셉도 센 컨셉을 하다 보니까 저는 내가 안 보이는 게 느껴지는 거예요. 그냥 하면서 아직도 가수를 하고 싶고 계속 쭉 하고 싶고 그래서 이걸 통해서 다양한 무대들 그리고 저한테 저런 매력이 있었구나 라는 것들을 좀 보여주고 싶어요. 그리고 충분히 그럴 수 있어요.
Okay. So that was that. That was that on that. Yeah, so oops, wrong scene. Okay, there we go. So yeah, basically, I was kind of blocking it, but that first line was translated as saying CLC was told that they were dismissed from the company. Now, to be fair, I saw some people saying that it was a mistranslation. I'm gonna pull up somebody on Twitter, yeah, mentions that they felt it was a mistranslation. And the exact translation should be, our company said we are not going to have team promotions anymore. So a lot of people are saying, okay, it's not necessarily that they're disbanded, but girl, what else is it supposed to be? Like, I don't know what is going on. Hey, Breakmaster! Yeah, she basically said Cube dismissed them and not giving them any activities, which really isn't new because Elkie said it when she filed her lawsuit. That's true. That's something I also read. And so, but it seems like, I don't know, because a lot of people were saying, okay, kind of like what you said, Andre, that like it's not anything new. We kind of knew this, but it seems really, really sad, I guess, the way it was presented on the show. And I feel like maybe that's what really, really alarmed people. But either way, like, I guess like hearing it like out of the mouth of one of the CLC members caused a lot of alarm. I mean, I feel like it coupled with this whole story about how she wants to be on Girls 999 to be able to even sing again, like that's quite sad. But it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of just depressing. Like, I love shows like this that they give like idols a second chance like this, but it just creates like an awkward atmosphere because like, I don't know, maybe it's me with a bit of an ego, but like if I was an idol that debuted and maybe my debutment situation is kind of like, it was kind of just messed up, like in this way, CLC, you know, they weren't being promoted, the company stopped supporting them, etc., etc. I would feel kind of weird being on like a show that's against like new trainees, like, you know, like girls who like maybe never had a shot. Not that like, you know, I shouldn't feel like I feel like, you know, I deserve a second chance or whatever. I would just feel weird. Like, I'd rather go on a show with other people who are in groups that maybe went south than like newer kids. Like, I feel like I would feel a lot of pressure to like live up to these, you know, newer trainees and idols and things like that. But maybe it's just me. But yeah, I just thought it was like really, really sad to see her on the show saying all that. But I saw that she's doing good in the show, so hopefully that's like a positive thing. But I don't know. It would suck if it was a situation where, you know, she was doing really, really good in the beginning, and then, you know, by the end, you know, actually, let me not put that energy in the atmosphere. That's kind of shady. Cube go to jail challenge. Honestly, truly, because what even? I think I was talking about this with it was either Jazz or my sister about how like Cube really fumbled the bag. Like, they had so many good groups that they just fumbled with. like in particular, we were saying it in reference to the whole Hyuna Dawn situation, how they handled that and how they like literally fumbled the bag for no reason, just based on the fact that everyone loves Hyuna and Dawn as a couple, or Dawn as a couple now. So it's like obviously there would have been hurdles to get over, but you literally like freaked out for like basically no reason. Because if you would have just maybe supported them, then it probably would have not been as bad. But I will say, I hope that she gets to debut from this show to maybe bring some attention and love to CLC, like I hoped After School would if Kyan debuted with Eyes One. Actually, I didn't even think about it that way. That would actually be, like, really, really clever. Like, get on the show, gain popularity, and then with her newfound popularity, go back to CLC, and then Cube, after doing nothing for them, would have no choice but to debut them or give them activities, because that's what the people want to see. That's actually really genius. I feel so bad for CLC though, because it's not like they were doing horrible in terms of their popularity. Plus they could have been so much bigger if Cube actually promoted them properly. And that is like the whole thing with, I feel like I don't know, I feel like it's just like companies give up so easily. Like it's just like, oh my gosh, like come on. And it just, to me, it doesn't make sense, because okay, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know how to crunch the numbers, or I know how to do whatever's like involved in like, you know, checks and balances. But it's like, if you already spent the money, like I remember reading somewhere it takes like $1 million or something to debut a group. But if you already spent the money and you already like invested so much in a group, I think it's called like the sunken fallacy. The sunken cost fallacy, which I think is a bad thing. But it's like, aren't you going to keep pushing it until you can make them popular, or until you can like properly get the revenue back? Like that's the one, like the greedy aspect of it too. It's like, we're going to keep like pushing you until you make like the money, like, you know, break even or whatever have you. I feel like companies just really be like, well, we tried. And the thing is, like the K-pop industry moves really, really fast. I do acknowledge that. But it's like, I feel like if you don't expect to be on the grind for at least like 4 or 5 years plus before like the group really blows up, why are you here? Why are you here? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's gonna take a long, like sometimes there's miracles. Yeah, don't get me wrong. In a lot of groups, they do have, you know, they do luck out and get like blow up, maybe get like a hit single within like the first 2 years of their debut, but like that's not gonna happen to everyone. So I feel like if you go in there thinking that like if they don't get popular in like this short amount of time, they flopped, I feel like that's really weird. Yeah, she's in the top 9 from the first episode, so it's only up from here. Yeah, let's hope. But the question is, how much should you invest in a group, though? What if you keep pushing them and they flop? Then that's even more money gone. I see what you're saying, and I definitely think that's a thing. I definitely think that there's, like, a limit. Because I was talking about this with my sister again before. Like, as an individual idol, if you're, like, trying to, like, be a trainee and trying really hard to become famous, like, is there a point where you're just like, I need to give up? Like, if you're 10 years a trainee or something like that, and, you know, maybe you're, like, I don't know, like around a certain age or something, is there like a time where you have to be like, okay, let me tap out of this because this is obviously not working or something like that? And I think with the companies, like I can see them do it, but I feel like people give up. Like I feel like people don't want to put in the work. People don't want to flop. Like, and you kind of have to flop before you like blow up. And I personally think like, not the longer you flop, the more you'll stay on top. But like there's been so many instances where somebody hits big quick and then it's like a flash, like what is it, pan in the flash, whatever that saying is. Like they get that hit song, it's popular for like a year, maybe they get another song and then like nothing. And I feel like that's directly proportionate to the fact that like they were only there for a while and it was like an instant fame and then it easily crumbled as quickly as it rose. Like I feel like what's wrong with just like getting popular because you just built an audience over the years, you know? That's what I don't understand at all. It's like these companies expect all their groups to blow up within a year or something. Like, why debut a group if you don't want to properly invest in it? That's what I'm saying. And like, even like then more, like if you don't, like that's why like when you choose these members, and I don't think like, not to say that I think like companies are just willy-nilly with who they do debut. I think they do put thought into it. But it's like if you took careful consideration to choose these members based on whatever, like whether it's their singing voice, their dancing ability, that they're cute, that they're charming, whatever. Doesn't that mean you believe in them in some sense? Like, doesn't that mean you feel like this could work? So, like, why not, like, even if it's not something that's instant, if you already took the painstaking, like, process of, like, making sure that who was in the lineup, they gelled good, they visually fit together, they vocally fit together, I don't know, why would you give up so easily? Because they want to be in the game, but not put in the work. Oh, Pentagon, ... Exactly. Like, I thought it was so foolish, like, just to, I don't know. Momoland is a great example of it. Yeah, I feel like Momoland, like, they had, what was it? And I felt bad because it did look really, really good for them. And I don't really know what their company did wrong in that case, because I feel like they were, like, everywhere when that song popped off. And I am not a huge fan of when you get a hit song, make your follow-up song exactly like it. But to be fair, it has worked. So, you know, when Bam and Boom, what was it? Boom Boom and Bam? Those are the two songs. Let me look it up. I act like I don't have technology. But when they were essentially the same song, part of me was like, girl, come on. But then the other part was like, I get it, because it's worked. It's worked in the past. Okay, Boom Boom and Bam. Okay, there we go. Those were the two songs. It's really like Soren said, she wants them to gain popularity slowly and build up the fan base. And I feel like I would feel more secure as an idol if I know the fan base I have was built over years of just dedication, than if it was like I had a hit song and this is I'm not shading anyone, because obviously there's a lot of people who have like legitimately gotten popular off of this, or like some kind of viral moment. I would be like kind of like, okay, y'all literally, you know, started standing me based on the fact that like I was cute in the video, or I sneezed cute, or something happened. I don't know, like I'm gonna like, you know, keep working my best, but I don't know if y'all are really here for the long haul. Like, I would rather have a situation where it took me years to grow the fan base, therefore like I know it's like a bit more loyal, and like, you know, I don't know, but I agree. That's like smart. That's a smart way outlook. But you know, some companies, they're like, nah. I think it shows how disposable they view these idols, to be honest. They can always be replaced with a younger, fresher group and try again. And that's like really, really sad, honestly. Like, that's really, really sad to think, because maybe for you, like, for the company looking, like, on the idol group, it's, like, one of your many products, right? It's one of your many ventures and things. But, like, to the individual idols in this group, this is their life, you know? Like, some people train for, like, you know, 5+ years, you know, not maybe for go college, maybe, you know, they still go to high school, but it's, like, you know, kind of different in the way they did high school to be able to factor in training. You know, like they plan their life about being idols. So like when they give so much and they dedicate so much and sacrifice so much, it's just really sad to see like companies seemingly just throw that away. Unfortunately. Definitely a case of bad management in terms of Momoland. The members were basically left high and dry. But was that after, like, when Bam blew up? Because I'm trying to, Boom Boom blew up. Because I feel like they were performing it a lot. And maybe that's not enough, though. Because I know, like, with the Brave Girls, they performed a lot, and they also, like, basically went on every show they were invited to. I also don't like how Hybe/Big Hit is trying to buy out everything. They were basically like SMJRP, YG. The big three are called the big three because of their years of hard work. I agree. I agree that there will never be like you know, when people try to like change the big three, I think it will, like, it's going to stay the big three because it's like specific to a time. But I think with Hybe/Big Hit, I feel like I get where they're coming from, because I was definitely one of these people, and I've seen the rhetoric before when, you know, BTS was blowing up, and that was like their bread and butter, like BTS was what they had. A lot of people were saying, you know, it's not good for a company to put all their eggs in one basket, because if BTS, you know, starts going to the army or disbands or just anything where they can't just be constantly working and be Big Hit can't be constantly putting out content related to BTS, then they're basically going to crumble if they're not at this point making other avenues in which they can make money. And not to be shady, but I think as a company, you don't want one of your groups to hold too much power, because then they basically own the company, you know? Like if BTS, like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. Let me preface this by saying I know nothing about like contracts and stuff, but I know like when it comes to negotiation, like the bigger the group is, the more successful, the more pull they have. So what I feel like, okay, well, instead of getting like 50% of our album sales, you only get 2%. And it's like, what would Big Hit really do in that? Because it's like, this is the only thing they have that's making considerably amount of money. So I think that's where they kind of come that's where it's coming from. Like, it's like, okay, we need to have other avenues, not necessarily to tame BTS or anything, but for their sake, that if BTS is ever like, I don't want to do this anymore, or I don't want to do this as much anymore, they don't have to like start freaking out, you know, with the idea that, oh, nobody's like, our literal whole point of existence is no longer a thing. Wait, we're trying to still be a company. I mean, we say EXID, happy 9th anniversary. Ooh. On the verge of disbandment before Han's fan came blew up. Yes, and I actually think that's really, really cool. And I think it's kind of like we were talking about before, how like when you get that viral moment, it's very, very important how the company behaves and moves right when that happens. Because like I feel like that's the difference between like you turning that viral moment to a long-lasting career, or just like, you know, something on the list of 10 things that happened this year, you know, at the end of the year. But so yeah, it can turn into a legitimate fan base, but I think I always just like, I would be personally nervous if I knew that's why people came, but I feel like it would also motivate me to like work hard. So I'm like, okay, these people are looking at me, I got their attention, let me make sure I keep it. Just joined, so I missed the conversation. Hey, hi, fashion forward! But I think as far as building a steady fan base goes, it's easier for male idols than female idols. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Coming in with the packs. I always felt like that was the case too, especially coming from like somebody who started listening to K-pop in second gen. That's why I'm so amazed to see so many girl groups who have like very dedicated fan bases. Now, like I still think like, you know, we still see it more heavily on the male idol side, but places like Twice, Red Velvet, like Blackpink, who are like moving albums, who are getting views, who are doing things and getting things that are indicative of like a huge fan base. It's just so great to see how that's morphed. But yeah, that's definitely been a thing. I feel like that's why we see like smaller boy groups that are struggling, they can still like struggling to find like public mainstream success. They can still kind of keep afloat because those fan bases will still buy the albums and do all the things that are necessary for the company to still invest in them. But like for girl groups that have the same kind of sort of like messy trajectory or whatever, it's really like, dang, their days are numbered, which has always sucked. I got an echo? Yo, I have an echo. Nobody said anything. Dang, well, I need to be checking that for myself, to be honest. How does it sound now? Ooh. Thanks for catching that, though. That's the issue. Everyone always thinks it's them when I have an echo or audio problems. No, I think it's because I kind of changed up my thingy. But yeah, okay, it's good. Okay, that's good. For me, it's annoying when people act like Hybe isn't just as trash as all the companies. Yeah, I think what kind of is frustrating is when at the end of the day, companies are there to make money, and it makes sense because you need money to make money, right? It's not because, okay, so we were talking about before investing in a group or whatever, and I do think it's important. I feel like, you know, in business, operating at a net loss as a way to sacrifice so you'll eventually make money, that's like a common business practice or whatever. So I definitely think it is annoying when companies just like give up so quickly, because it's like, come on, like you put this group together, you got these people or whatever. But I also understand that it's not like, you know, a charity. Like companies aren't charities, so they do have to make money, and I feel like some fans get so caught up in the idea of like a company being a family or like a whatever, a nation or a tribe or whatever, that like they like, you know, push this kind of idea that like, oh, you know, they would never do X, Y, and Z because they always like, you know, are here because they're family and stuff like that. And I feel like that can get kind of toxic because at the end of the day, a business main goal is to make money. Like, yes, it's good to make people's dreams come true and stuff like that, and I would hope that they're invested in like the well-being of their idols, but it's also to make money. So I feel like fans need to understand that this is like it can be a very wholesome and fun experience, but like the realities too. Like I feel like you have to kind of balance that. Like I always would feel so like, oh my god, guys, get over it, like when like people would like fight over like which idol group has members that are the closest, you know, like that idea of being like friends versus coworkers. And it's just like, well, here's the thing, these are people who maybe trained together, maybe didn't, you know, but at the end of the day, we're put together in a group by somebody else, right? It's like if you watch Making the Band, it's like if you watch Produce 101, but whatever. It's like a bunch of people that were probably technically competitors at one point, as in they were all trying to get like a debut and get in a same group. So like the idea that like they have to be best friends is like kind of toxic. A lot of times, like obviously be cordial, don't hate each other, but it's like, I mean, I can think of places that I worked for years, people I saw every day, yeah, I got to know them, yeah, we built a bond, but like they're not necessarily my best friend, and that's okay. Like I feel like a lot of people just don't get the fact that it's okay if they don't feel like brothers, you know, or sisters or best friends or whatever. And I just feel like it's kind of toxic how people push that on them sometimes. But let's talk about how the public has like this age limit on female idols, on when females can be idols. Like once a female, it's like, hits like late 20s into 30s, they're seen as an old woman. There was a really good article that we read a couple streams ago about this. It was exactly about this. It was more like positive because it was talking about how it used to be really bad in like the 90s and like early 2000s, but it's getting better because you see female idols be like a bit older and it not being like as much of a get this granny to nursing home, you know. But it is like toxic, and I feel like it's just one of those things how misogyny is pervasive in so many different ways. Like it's definitely like, what was it? I feel like I know the ages in Produce 101 ran the gambit, but I feel like, I don't know, there was such an obsession with age, especially Kahi's and Produce 48, that I feel like I did not peep from like Produce the second season. Now I only like really like touch and go like watched that season, and I know they did have an older, like a 28-year-old or something that ended up in the group. Let me look it up because I always act like I can't. 101. But I don't know, I just feel like age is such a like thing, and it's so annoying because it's just like, okay, like who was it? When do you probably know? No, oh my god, no. But it just sucks because it's just like, it already is such a toss-up as to when you'll be able to hit big. So the fact that like it means more if you're closer to being young than if you're older, it's just really messed up. Who was it? No, I swear there was like an older guy. Maybe he didn't make the group. Was it Jisung? Yoon Jisung? He seems like the oldest. Maybe it was him. But he's like 30. It couldn't have been him. Because at that time, he would have been even younger. I don't know. These female idols practically wasting their life away to chase their dream, all to not blow up when they reach 25 to 30 and may be replaced with younger girls, and the cycle just continues. Honestly, that was one of the things that kind of put me off, not to Twice, but some of the rhetoric around Twice, because I know a lot of people, and it was mainly to get under Sowon's skin, but like the idea that when Twice came, Like, okay, because the thing is, let's be honest, like when new groups roll up, there's always going to be like this thing like you're being replaced. I remember that was a big thing when BTS started blowing up as a way to like dig at EXO and Big Bang. But particularly, like, it was more like in with the old, out with the new. But particularly, there was like this really disgusting, like, insidious like reference to like SNSD age when Twice started to blow up. Like this idea that not like it's just like a new group that's capturing anybody, but like they're younger, they're prettier, they're X, Y, and Z. You see it a lot with like 2NE1 and Blackpink, that whole thing. Like, it's like I understand the rhetoric, like new group or whatever, but like the thing is, I feel like people particularly dig at the age when it comes to female idols. Like, you are too old now to be worth anything. Like, you are no longer cute and pretty because you're a certain age, and that's why it just makes me so sick when people would compare that and do that. Like, it was already toxic, but then this added like element of, because you're a certain age as a woman, people are not going to care about you anymore, was just so disgusting. And it was so not funny, but it was so ironic because when Twice started blowing up, people started doing the same thing. Like, they were like, oh, your male fans are gonna drop you as soon as the next young thing comes along and stuff like that. And like, it's so weird the way that people hang that over like female idols' heads, especially when they have like a largely male fan base. And it's like, you're not giving what you think you gave, you know? You're not giving, like, you're just being toxic and misogynistic. Like, I see some people comment for Boa sometimes, like she's got back issues or something, but she's dancing circles around these 13 girls. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And I know there's always like this kind of thing where people say, oh, Boa fell off because part of her shtick was like the cute little girl who can like dance really well. But when they could no longer sell that, it was hard to like know how to market her. And it's just messed up, and how like, you can be as talented as somebody like Boa, but if you don't fit like some type of like young cute archetype, people will come for you. It's also crazy how age is so embedded in K-pop culture that we as fans have the notion planted in our minds that our faves need to be successful by a certain age. That's true. A certain age and a certain time, I feel like people always would say, I remember like, oh, they're not popular by now, like just give it up, you know, that kind of thing. And it's just like, it's a lot to tell people to give up on their dreams. Like, I understand being like realistic and being like, I don't know if this is the path for you if you haven't like made it yet, but like, it's a lot to just be like, girl, get out of here. All right, so all in all, I really hope Yujin does good. It's nice. I think it's nice that she's being kind of, and I'm not just like crapping on anyone else, but it's cool to see that she's being like particularly proactive in the sense that she's like, okay, they're not going to do anything for me. Cube, that ship has sailed, so let me try to get on this show or do something. And it's kind of a smart move because she is going to get attention, because she is from a group that, you know, had already debuted and maybe had a less than stellar run. You know, she has a nice story to tell. I was about to say sob story, but sob story sounds so mean. She has like a nice story to tell, etc., etc. So overall, I feel like it's good. It was a good move for her in order to try to like put her like fate / destiny in her own hands. You know, because it's like, you know, sometimes you really just gotta like, you have to understand that your company is not invested anymore, so you gotta fight for it yourself. To be fair, I said the same thing about Twice, but more so that Wonder Girls Miss A were getting replaced by them. I just want companies to remember the groups that made their labels popular. That's true. And sometimes it can be hard if you're a fan of an older group and you can see them so very blatantly being kind of pushed aside. But the thing is, it does kind of give like younger child, older child syndrome. Like when, you know, a child who's young gets a brother or sister who's younger, they kind of get like, why am I not getting as much attention? You know, because like, you know, groups that are being nurtured and brought up tend to get a lot of the attention in lieu of those other groups that did make them. But I guess like the thing is, it kind of makes sense because I get when the group's popular enough to stand on their own, you don't have to push them as much just because you know that they have the fan and support. But it does get like, you know, in a disrespectful type line when it becomes a situation where like, okay, you have to do something. Like, I get that they have the fans that will buy the music, but like, let them go on a show. Like, let's put some effort into this, right? So it gets like really, really frustrating. Yes, and good luck to the idols that debut on the show. All right, so moving on. I actually don't know what I have next year, but we'll find out. Oh wait, I forgot to say. Cube is going to jail. Period. All right, I'm annoying. Okay, moving on to the next. Y'all know we had to talk about Miss Soojin. So Soojin from Idol, it was announced by Cube that following her bullying scandals and her hiatus as a consequence of that, she will officially be leaving the group, and Idol will be promoting as 5 members from now on. Now, this was kind of like shocking to me, but it also was a situation where I was like, okay, they have to do something, right? Because if they want like a proper non kind of when is she coming back, what's going on type comeback, I feel like they had to say something. Either, you know, she's with the group and that, you know, they're riding or dying, or they're gonna peace out. And so this was such a curious situation, because if you guys don't know, I've actually had we talked about this a couple times on stream. Actually, there was one point where literally every single stream we had was an update about this situation. But earlier this year, Soojin was accused of, she got some bullying allegations. And so the thing that was, you know, kind of interesting is that the whole time she like denied that this bullying happened, right? And Cube pretty much stood beside her in this like denial, like, you know, we're saying this was the facts, but more stuff came out. There was at one point where an actress, Soojin, had alleged that she also suffered, you know, bullying from Soojin. And so, like, it was kind of like back and forth, but, you know, Soojin wasn't backing down. So a lot of people, I think that kind of helped with a lot of people still supporting her. But then we got, you know, during Idol's last comeback, we got the announcement that she would not be participating in it. And people are like, oh, you know, obviously it was an ongoing situation. So it made sense, you know, despite what way Cube swayed, to kind of pull back. But a lot of people are like, this doesn't look good, because if they really felt like she was innocent, she didn't do anything, I feel like they would let her promote. But then there was also the other side that, like, no matter like how you see it, this is a scandal that can negatively affect Idol as a whole. So it does make sense that they're maybe like, let's just pull her out for now. But yes, it was officially announced that Soojin would be on August 14th, so yesterday. They said as of today, it's been decided Soojin will withdraw from the team. And they also continued, in the future, Idol will continue activities in a 5-member system, and will continue to support and do our best to help Idol show more mature music and support. All right, guys, so what do we think about this? Was this the right decision? I honestly did not expect this news yesterday. Me either. Really shocked. I saw a lot of people saying things like, well, she did say if she were guilty, she'd drop out. And I'm like, dang, she/Cube could have handled that better. So I read on All K-Pop, the fans of her were bombarding. Yeah, that was another thing that I wanted to bring up here. I'll just bring up the thing. I'll try to, guys, if I'm ever like saying something and I forgot to say the source that I got it from, just say source or something like that, because I want to make sure that y'all know that I'm not like reporting this myself. I get it from different sources just like everyone else. So but yes, there was an article on All K-Pop that mentioned that fans of Idol Soojin bombard actress Soojin's YouTube channel with comments following Soojin's departure. So it reads here, on August 14th, girl group Idol's agency Cube Entertainment announced Soojin's departure from the group. The first accuser, Soojin, first raised her accusations earlier during March this year, to which Soojin personally denied. In her response to this, her former classmate Soojin, who is also an actress, spoke up on the related matter. However, her Instagram post containing her statement has been deleted since. Following the announcement of Soojin's departure from the group, her fans bombarded Soojin's YouTube channel with agitated comments accusing her of ruining someone's future. On the latest YouTube video, Soojin uploaded where she was visiting Busan to attend Busan's International Kids and Youth Film Festival. Fans left many agitated comments over the past few hours. Some of these comments read, "Somebody's future got ruined by you. Are you happy now that you ruined Soojin's future? You are so shameless. Why are you hurting Soojin?" Etc., 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 etc. So this is an interesting situation, because it's fans retaliating because they feel like, Shanae did something that she shouldn't have. Now, I feel like we talked about this a bit, about Shanae when she finally did spoke up. And just for reference, let me see if I can find that article. Oh, they used the same pictures. I was really okay. Yeah, so we talked about this, and a lot of people were like, oh, it might be like just one person remembers it this way, one person remembers it that way, etc., etc. But I feel like it's weird to be mad at Soojin in this case because, like, all she really did was say what she felt happened, right? She just spoke her truth. So, regardless of how that look made Soojin look, if she was just saying what she knew happened, I don't understand how you can be mad at her. Like, is it like you wanted her to keep quiet because it didn't make Soojin look the best? Like, what exactly do you want from her? If anything, if I was a Mad fan, I would be petitioning the company on how they handled it, right? Because they, at the end of the day, are the ones that make the decision to whether to either stick by her or not. She was doomed from the start because her mess involved someone else in the industry, but her fate was sealed after that horrible statement, I don't remember. Yeah, I feel like that's never good, because it kind of seems like the thing is, and I think we talked about this before, there could be a case that she legitimately doesn't remember. And that's the thing that's so messy with this situation, because, like, when somebody is bullied or when somebody is harassed or when somebody has something horrible said about them, it's going to stick with the person who was the victim a lot more than it was as the person who was the aggressor or the bully. So, like, as sad as it does seem, that could have been legit. But I feel like the problem with saying something like that is that it does kind of seem very, very shaky. It kind of seems like you're kind of covering your bases for if it turns out that, like, this person has more evidence to prove whatever they're saying, instead of, like, affirm, I didn't do this. And I know in the beginning she was like, I didn't do this. And then, you had the I didn't remember statement. Hi, Lizzie. Welcome to the stream. I think a lot of factors would need to be considered, like the circumstances back there, if she was punished, what kind of bullying, how it was brought, how sympathetic she is, if true. This is probably not going... This thing, we're probably not going to know all the details anytime soon or ever. Well, I think if it's just that she's leaving, unless she ever comes back to the industry, because there is a chance that she could come back as like a soloist or something like that. I think we probably won't get any more details, because I don't think Soojin would have any more reason, unless it was like 5 years later, let me clear my name or something. Maybe she got more evidence, or she got more whatever, like witness or something like that. I don't feel like she would ever like open up about this, because I imagine this is very like traumatic for her, because she's like, dang, all this, I literally had it all. Let me stop. But yeah, I had so much, and then now it's gone. Overall, I think Cube handled it poorly and just exacerbated the hate against her by completely standing by her and not being neutral. If the allegations are really true, best bet would have been to Pool and Irene. That is actually interesting, because that was going to be my next question. Do you think that in a world where we can say, like, in the world where it's like, okay, this is true, she 100% admits to it, says, okay, I did this, what is a path you think that Soojin and Cube could have taken that would allow her to remain with Cube, remain an idol, and continue her career, even if it's like an Irene situation where she kind of has to lay low for a while? Like, for example, do you think it was smart for Cube, knowing that Soojin was embroiled in this, to have Idol have a comeback? Like, do you think they should have just went with the Soyeon comeback and called it a day until they cleared this up? Because I feel like if it was a situation where you're kind of standing by her, having a comeback without her was kind of giving people a taste of what a Soojin-less G-idol or Soojin-less idol would look like. And I don't think if you're trying to get people to like rally behind her, that's the best thing to do. But yeah, that's my question to chat right now. What would be the path? What would be the best path where Soojin would stay in G-idol, I guess, is my question. Does that make sense? Soojin really said, if it turns out to be true, I would just leave. And Shanae said, all right, bet. And it just shows that some fans just leave morals out the door when supporting an idol, basically trying to diminish the accusations just because they were kids. Like, just be a decent human being. Had she just said she was sorry to begin with, even if she didn't remember, she would have fared a lot better. Okay, so if it was a situation, because the thing is, like, looking into it, like, again, we don't, like, it's always gonna be like this side versus this side, right? We weren't there, we don't know, like, the facts, right? And so it's a situation where it's like, did she maybe feel like I don't want to, like, apologize because I truly didn't think I did this, or I truly don't think this is something I did, or maybe I truly didn't think it was a big deal, like it, like all those things factored. So, like, a blank apology, just being like, you know what, so, like, immediate, like, jerk knee, like, you hear the accusations, I'm sorry for it, and maybe, like, a bit reflecting, doing that, do you think that would have been like, okay, well, even if people, like, still side-eye her, they're gonna get over it? Because, like, think of somebody like, Hyun, who had bullying scandals. Now, that was kind of messy because I think they ended up finding out that the girl who accused her of bullying also was a bully herself. But Hyun, although she still gets flack on some articles here and there, and people do bring it up, for the most part, she's been promoting. Like, right? And I know maybe it's a bit different because Hyun at this point is a veteran idol. She's not going to be expected to do some of the things that a more, like, active younger group like idol is expected to do or expected to act. But I feel like it's an interesting thing to think. No, they should have waited before giving them a comeback. Okay. Definitely, like, I would say the Irene situation was pretty bad considering it was fairly recent and she was an adult. But even if Soojin was a kid, if she still believes she allegedly did what, if she still, if she still believes what she allegedly did was okay, then that's a big problem. Yeah. I feel like the best way would have been to apologize. I feel like it would have just been the cleanest thing. Even if in her heart, if she was like, I don't, think it was that bad, or I don't believe it. Like, if I couldn't, if I knew myself back then and the best I could say was I don't remember, I would have just apologized. Because there's no need to sit on it and wait till, like, they come with more evidence or come with more accusations or whatever to be like, oh, okay, like, getting your memory jogged by somebody else in a situation like this is, nah. I feel like you're burying yourself there. After looking at all these bullying scandals, the best reaction from fans and the public has been from apologizing. Example, Hyunjin. People seem to be more willing to forgive them and get over it. I agree. And it was really, like, I don't want to say shocking, but I think she's one of the few bullying scandals in which that, like, cropped up over that time, in which people were like, and they were just like, no, this is not something I did. Because I think for most of them we saw, well, of course there's, like, the April one, but, like, I feel like a lot of them we just saw either quick apologies or something of the sort. But I think that's why this one, like, stood out a lot, because it was like she was pretty just like, no. I think a public admission of guilt, sincere apology, and sincere interaction with the victim, groveling basically, followed by a hiatus, might have helped. Reputation still would have been damaged, though. Yeah, I agree, but I think time heals a lot. And at one point, it's like, if the victim is no longer, or the victims are no longer, asking for X, Y, and Z, like, as, like, a third party, like, it's like, at that point, can you really, like, if the victims, accept the apology, what can you really do? But I feel like even though, like, there'll be the comments and the comments in, like, the forums and on the news sites about how, oh, they're trash, like, trash person, but I feel like eventually people would move on. Another good example is Taeyong. Although some of the things he was accused of were confirmed to be untrue rumors, it helped that he apologized and has since kept in touch with the victim. But she could have still salvaged her career because at least it showed genuine remorse. That's the thing. Because at some point, as the people doing the critiquing, like, I mean, what can we say? If they apologize to the victim, if the victim's, like, accepted or moved on, what can you really do? Because we're not, like, we're a third party in the instance. So I feel like it could have, I feel like it could have been salvaged. I don't know. Again, like, I don't want to minimize this because it's a lot, I know, to handle, but I feel like it could have been salvaged if like better moves were made. But I definitely think they should have waited. I just don't like the look it gives coming back without her. Like, I understand it, but if you're trying to keep her in the group, I feel like that shows like kind of not unit. But I mean, if they're already always like, you know, we're gonna like kick her out, like, then do what you want. Like, give people a little taste of 5 members. To be honest, I still think Soojin was never going to survive it purely because her victim was a celebrity. Sucks to say, but the other idols have benefited greatly from the victim being normal people. And let's be clear, we can't expect idols to be picture perfect human beings because that's not possible. We should at least expect them to be decent human beings. Yeah, and I think decent human beings doesn't involve like never making a mistake. It involves apologizing when you have made a mistake. But I definitely see what you're saying, Fashion. Like, it's harder that somebody who was in the industry spoke out about it. But I think if she did, like, had an apology or because I'm pretty sure Soojin, was it her in the apology that was like, okay, there's a line where she says the individual that says they do not remember and they never spoke to me, and this is true, it was entirely one-sided harassment. The individual continues to deny that they ever said those words of scorn behind my back, which is unfortunate. Was she currently struggling with school violence? Oh, okay, I thought she was, I remember it must have been another person who said that, you know, they don't want, like, they're not trying to, like, ruin the career or whatever, they just want, like, a genuine apology. But I don't know, Soojin seems like with this statement that if there was like a genuine apology, she would have been like, okay, from my opinion. And I think, you know, having public forgiveness from the victim, I feel like that definitely helps with your image, because like I said before, if the victim is like, okay, like, we've mended this, you know, what can other people really do at that point? I mean, you can still criticize them, but, you know, it's more or less like the parties involved. But I know that Soojin wasn't the only person who accused her. There was an initial accusation. Let me pull it up. Let me find that. Let me find that. Let me find that. Let me close all the... I'll have to dig to the beginning, the first articles. Oh, my computer's really slow today. Sorry, guys. All right. Okay. Soojin's alleged bullying victim sisters file a lawsuit. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Let me show you what I'm working with. Alleged victim. Soojin accused by bullying another classmate. Critical after finding. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, so she did personally meet with the bullying victim. So yeah, I think there was multiple accusations in this case. But yeah, I mean, overall, I feel like this is hard because even though for the most part they removed the person that they like was the center of the scandal, that they felt was the issue, I feel like this is gonna affect Idol a lot going forward. Like, I feel like when you are that deep into your career and a member like leaves, whether they're removed or whether they leave, it's always gonna shake it up. Jisoo from Lovely's did, but she was projected to be one of the most popular idols of her generation, and that was all ruined despite being cleared. Yeah, that was a very, very strange. I feel like people don't harass her as much like for it. It got cleared, but I definitely think that I agree, it killed the momentum. Has there been ever a case where a female idol was accused of something and then later cleared or apologized and continued their career. I think someone from Lovely's, right? We do need to acknowledge that male idols have a better chance of being forgiven. And I feel like there's always like a bias towards male idols being forgiven, but I think that even goes back to, I forget, was it Fashion that mentioned it? How like female idols just like, you know, male idols' tendency to build a more dedicated fan base helps them out because they have people that are less willing to turn on them for things like this. When you have like a fan base, and like I said, you know, as times have continued in the K-pop fan base, you have more female idols with dedicated fan bases, which is great to see. But I think for the most part, you tend to get male idols being able to recover, because unless they do something that like specifically attacks their the fans would be mad. So something that shows disrespect to fans, you know, before dating used to be like a big thing, like that could get you yeeted, but like things that are specifically directed to the fans, I feel like the fans are that like force that's like keeping like the articles clean and taking initiative to try to like put out counter things and stuff like that. So as long as you don't offend them, I feel like, you know, you'll still have like your main base of support. But yes. All right. So yes, good luck to Idol, Soojin. Good luck to you too. And moving on to the last topic I had for today. So y'all, when did this become like a mafia moment? Like, I'm scared for my life, even though I wasn't the one threatened. So YG, apparently he's out here making death threats. Yeah. So that's that. I'm gonna pull up the article that I read about this regarding Soompi. But the first thing I read, like the first title thing that I read, was that YG informant involved in BI case admits to being threatened, death threats by YG, like YG himself, Yang Hyun Suk. Okay, so here's the article. All right, so this is coming from Soompi. So on August 13th at 11 a.m., the Seoul Central District Court held the first trial for the ongoing case of Yang Hyun Suk and BI. BI is suspected of purchasing marijuana and LSD from an acquaintance in 2016 and using it. And he admitted to some of the suspicions. In February 2020, it was reported that he tested negative in drug tests. YG is suspected of coaxing and threatening A in 2016 to reverse their statement about BI purchasing and using illegal drugs and attempting to cover up the investigation. A changed their testimony, and BI was initially acquitted of his charges at the time. On June 7th, it was revealed that the Violent Crimes Department of the Seoul Central District Prosecutor's Office indicted BI on the charges of violating the Act of the Control of Narcotics, etc. On May 28th. On the same day, YG was indicted for threatening retaliation. Both were indicted without detention. YG was not present at the first hearing because a defendant is not obliged to attend until the court's final decision date. The prosecutor and YG's legal representatives shared opinions on the issue and discussed their schedule for further trials. The prosecutor stated, after receiving a report from YG employee Kim about A's police statement, YG called A to the company building and threatened her to take back her testimony about BI and make a false statement. They pointed out YG had told A, "You need to be a good kid. I can read all the reports. It'd be a piece of cake to kill you." Y'all. Period, y'all. What is going on? So, to be fair, they did respond, and in response, YG's legal representatives claimed, "We deny all charges." They added, "It is true we met up with Han So-hee," which is A, and spoke with her, but he never threatened or forced her to make false statements. When the court asked if YG desires a trial with citizen participation, his legal representative answered he does not want it. On the same day, Kim, who was indicted as YG's accomplice, also denied the charges, and Lee, who was accused of ordering A to leave the country, has fled the country. But okay, fast forward. So yes, so I don't got anything for YG, Papa YG stands at this point. That's scary. And even if it was hyperbole, that's like, what is going on? Like, oh wait, I did not see that. I did not see that translation. Wait. Okay, that would actually make more sense if it was killed in the sense of like kill your career. But it seems like with all these headlines, it seems like legitimately mafia-esque. Let me see if I can find an alternate translation, because if that's the case, but I don't know, all these articles that I read about it seemed like actual kill. Oh, okay. Wait, guys. Poor, whatever for my. Okay, so this is Naver, and the translation. I have it on the English translation for this. It's initially in Korean. It's nothing to kill you in the entertainment industry. Good catch. Okay, so maybe maybe it's not actual death. Okay, let's see. Where's the actual statement? The trial plan. Okay, where's the actual statement? Okay, I can see the document, so please reverse the statement. You look like a kid from the entertainment industry or the entertainment industry. This is Google Translate. But killing one of you is nothing. Okay. That's definitely, let me look at the. Oh, my Korean is not this advanced. You know what? That would make more sense. Because, well, do I put it past YG? No. But that would make. Perhaps I jumped the gun. Jail. But that is crazy. I still think that's crazy. Hold on. Let me pull up the comments. Chill. This is why you need to have multiple sources, kids. I mean, I wouldn't doubt the mafia connections considering Seungwoo's case. Yeah, let's not doubt that his love for iKON could have led to some mafia-esque behavior. Who knows? Because honestly, I believed it, but I feel like you're right. That translation, that second translation, even though it was like a janky Google Translate one, it does seem like it was more like I want to kill your career, or like, you know, that makes more sense. Okay. I feel like once again, guys, make sure you have multiple sources, but that is still really scary. Okay, but can we also talk about people praising Han So-hee for writing out YG on my Korean like she's not little or criminal and stuff? I agree. I think there's like this thing where just because somebody does something good, people think that person like deserves praise. But like and the thing is, I've seen the vice versa, like people being like, how are you guys happy that she ratted out when she's trash? Well, she did something good by like exposing them. So I feel like we don't have to deify and make everyone queen status or whatever, but you know, separately, it was a good thing that she exposed them. And she got Wonho kicked out of Monster X. Oh yeah, there was that. Oh my, she really, when she came into like the consciousness of like the, you know, public K-pop fandom, that she really was like, I'm about to be messy, y'all. y'all want something? I'm about to go be a mess. Y'all coming with? But yeah, so I guess overall YG is trash. We already know that though. We know this. So that was my last topic for today. I'm gonna open the floor as usual, guys. If you guys want to step on in and also have things. I wish. Hold on for a second. Not people saying she's a baddie. Honestly, can we talk about pretty privilege? Because people will really let people slide just for being cute. It's quite crazy. Um, it's very weird behavior, but I mean, we all know Blackpink are the ones keeping the lights on. Let's talk about it. Big Bang fans are gonna kill me. VIPs. I definitely like. I feel like there's this whole thing because I remember when Twice started, you know, making moolah, people are like, well, you know, GOT7 2PM still make more than them. But I feel like there's definitely like an equity of being like the face of a company, like even if you're not necessarily making the most. Like for example, when like Suzy was like the big selling point of YG, even if she wasn't making like by herself as much as somebody like 2PM or something, it's still very important to have like that face figure that's going to draw people in, I think. Curious what your thoughts are on the view that all YG artists should be boycotted. That is a great question. So I know that's a big thing, and I know that's talked about a lot. Now, I will say, I think it's interesting who this conversation gets brought up for, because I've never seen people say that like, for example, Acton Musician should be boycotted, or people on like sub labels of YG should be boycotted. But I noticed that conversation does tend to come up when we're talking about Blackpink, you know, maybe an icon, maybe a winner, and things like that. So I do think there is some insidious like underlying like, I really hate these groups, so let me use the whole YG thing. But I do think it makes sense because at the end of the day, you know, if we know that YG has been clocked for like being part of really, really shady things, whether it's Burning Sun or like the tax evasion, or making threats to people to cover up, you know, scandals that their artists have been in, it doesn't feel great to know that your money might be supporting that, right? Might be funding that. But at the same time, I understand fans that are conflicted because it's like, well, I do want to support my faves, and if my particular faves did not do anything, I feel sad making them suffer for that. And maybe it's not even that deep. Maybe they're just like, well, I'm gonna sweep this under the rug and I'm just gonna enjoy my fans and not really think about it. Because I think there is definitely like, you can really say, well, if we're really being frank, I don't think it's only YG where the money you spend on your faves is going to shady stuff. And I know people bring that up about, and that's a bit of whataboutism, but I think it's kind of like, do what you want to do, but don't play dumb, right? Don't play dumb when people bring up that this is something that YG has been exposed for, participated in. Like, don't play dumb. Don't act like you don't know. Don't act like you don't, like, there's nothing wrong there. Like, there's not insidiousness there. But, you know, I can't stop people from doing what they want to do and supporting what they want to support. And I think a lot of it is just kids that don't understand how severe stuff like this is a lot of the time. Not trying to blame just kids, because there's like adults there too. But like, it's hard because I feel like by design, industries like this are meant to push forward the shiny fun part and then keep the shitty parts in the back, right? Like, we always hear about like the really, really crappy conditions idols work under, the really crummy contracts that they have. But there's like this cognitive dissonance, I feel like sometimes, you know, we have as K-pop fans where we're kind of like trained or positioned to like kind of like, even if we know, keep that in a different subconscious of our head, and then just think of like the pretty shiny stuff. And I feel like in general, I feel like that's like a public disposition, because, you know, think about like companies that get their clothes from sweatshops and stuff like that. People know that on like, even if it's just on a surface level, but they still kind of keep it out of like, you know, out of their head. So like my best bet is like, people just like be aware. Like if people point it out, don't try to defend it. Like don't try to say it's not a thing. You know, people have legitimate concerns, and reasonably. So like, and I feel like that's a big thing I'm always on. Like even if like it's just something, it's a situation where your idols have done something problematic and you acknowledge that, but like choose to stand anyway. Okay, that's fine. But also, when people bring it up, don't try to act brand new. Don't try to get mad, because this is a legitimate thing. It's complicated because I love several groups from YG and their music, but we know who has the most shares in the company and what that money is going to on the sidelines. Like, don't scream at mistreatment when BP hasn't had a comeback in some years, when you all knew what it was. Oh, yeah, I guess that's like in general, when like, that's in general with like just like how YG rolls. But yeah, I definitely think like it's a thing, Andy. Like it's like in a perfect world, we could all be like perfect citizens that like 100% like, you know, relinquish something when it's done. But I mean, when like we find out that there's problematic ties to it, but I feel like people are gonna keep doing it. But I feel like it's important, that acknowledgement. And the thing is also, if it all comes crumbling down because just something comes out that is just like, there's no two ways around it, this company's done, then you can't act surprised either. Like I feel like the best course of action is just hoping that they go sign somewhere else that is more ethical. That's what I would want for those YG groups if I was like a hardcore stan. But yeah, agree with a lot of your points. Personally, still up in the air about whether I'll continue to buy BT albums as a Blink. Yeah, and I feel like that's like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, you know, don't buy albums, maybe you still listen to them and check out their comebacks, but there's no monetary support. Like that's completely like reasonable. And like if anyone tries to like guilt trip you for that or something, like it's weird. Oh, definitely a Blink VIP ACMU fan, ex Blackjack. I'll be the first to clown and expose YG, the company, for trash they have done for their idols and seedy things they've done generally. I'm not one to buy music every single time my face release something either. So yeah, and I think that kind of is like the difference too, because you know, in stan culture, like there's this idea of like supporting every single thing your group releases. But if you're not really one to do that anyway, I feel like it becomes a bit more easier to separate yourself when you realize, when like, you know, something like that gets exposed. Every company has their share of shady stuff, just be aware. Yeah, agreed. But that was a great question, Fashion Forward. All right, so I realized I stopped playing the music. I was supposed to have copyright music. But, so this is a shorter stream. But I want to say thank you everyone for coming out to the first morning coffee, the creamery. Is that what we decided on, y'all? Can we decide on it? Is it going to be the creamery? Is it the creamery? I'm going to invest in making better like openings and endings. But I think the creamery is fun for now. I'm going to wrap up here. But I'll actually be heading over to Twitch to play a bit of Animal Crossing. Have to clean up my crusty ass island. Susan, no, I didn't mean to curse. No. She's gonna clock me. But yeah, I'm going to go clean up my island on Twitch. For those of you who don't know my Twitch account, it is twitch.com/tv/pinkcloud. But I'm glad to know this seems like a decent time for a lot of you guys. Especially, yeah, that was one of the European time, the London time. I was hoping that like this would open an opportunity for a lot of you guys to participate, because I know when I usually stream my weekly live stream, it's in the crack butt of night for you guys. But hopefully this makes it a better time. But again, thank you guys so much for coming to the first episode of the Creamery Morning Coffee Show with Jay. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'm gonna have one more sip. Ow! And also, for those of you who don't know, I also do a show with my friend Jazz at 10 p.m. EST on Thursday nights, The Sleepy Idol. Let me have a little theme. It was nice hanging out with you guys at the Creamery today. I will see you guys at the Sleepy Idol. Well, we'll have a nice it's a little pub in the corner of Crenshaw and 34th. You know, make sure to knock 3 times and say the secret password. Kyungsu outsold. That's the secret password. And I'll see you guys there. I also do like a lot of different streaming. I release the schedule on my community page and my Twitter every week, so follow me there to know where I'm streaming and when I'm streaming. This week was like exclusively YouTube, which was very fun, very interesting. I'll say I've learned a lot of things that I don't like about streaming on YouTube, but a lot of things I do. I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm gonna keep the games on when I stream games in the anime club, and I'll just keep everything K-pop related here. But yeah, that's more for me. But thank you guys so much for streaming. Thank you everyone who came out, especially the ones that this is like so early for you. Yeah. Oh, drinks on the Breakmaster. He's buying us rounds of coffee. Yay, 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 yay. Kyungsu Short King. Kyungsu Short King outsold. That's gonna be the password. If you say that sometime during the stream, the Sleepy Idol stream, sometime during that, you'll get a prize. There you go. Kyungsu Short King outsold. You have to say the full thing, guys, so I know who was here. There we go. Special morning crew perk. All right, guys. Make sure before on your way out you put your coffee on the Breakmasters tab, of course, and I will see you guys later. I'm about to show the starting soon screen, but it's ending. I just forgot to make an ending screen. Also, again, I'm actually just heading over to Twitch, and I'm gonna stream some Animal Crossing and chill. So I will see you guys later. Goodbye.